So inside of the brand new Grow Garden update, there are new mutations you can get on items. Now, there's one thing to note with these mutations is there's both two ways you can actually get these and obtain them, but I'll be showing you both the most efficient one and way I've found. And alongside that, the best way you can get good mutations. Once again, if you're grinding the taste testing rat connoisseur, if that's how you say it, how you do that, best mutations for that. And then alongside all of this, once again, every recipe has been finalized on my website. So if you want to check out my website, we have every single recipe on that for the new update, fully updated. So make sure you do check that out. That'll be in the description. So starting off, first things first, with how you're going to obtain mutations. So firstly, obviously you need to contribute mutated plants, but that's not all, because there is more to it besides, just grabbing, like a shocked moon melon or something and then getting a shocked, mutated thing out of it. There's actually a bit more to it. So currently, what I have found at least is what's going to happen is you're getting these mutated items. And so it's going to look something like this whenever you actually mutate your crop. So you're going to get something like this. I took a screenshot of it. So lucky cook, one of your plant mutations carried over to your food. So what I'm assuming for the most part is you firstly want to have a plant with a lot of mutations, because as you saw, one of your plant mutations carried over to your thing. So most likely if you have a lot of mutations on a plant, your plant or food item in general is going to get, mutated regardless. But one of the main things to note is there is a lot more besides just that. So first things first, I do believe that it is going to be rarity based. So the more rare the mutation is, the higher the or lower the chances it carries over. But the higher the rarity or the mutation value, then the better the trade-in is over at the rat taste testing. I'm going to call him Remy because, that just makes the most sense. So first things first, in the rewards, right? So you get to pick, kind of weird. So depending on the rarity of the thing you contribute. So this is a legendary, has friend bound and wet. You give it to it and then you can, sit and select random stuff. So what it's going to look like is, you go try this food I cooked and then you get an option, I believe, to, pick which one you want. So I probably want the sunny side chicken. Why not? Because once again, if you look, sunny side chicken, no clue what the smoothie fountain does. It probably has an ability and I probably should have gotten it, but we got this chicken right here, which is actually really good. But one thing to note is you do want to try to grind these mutated things. But first things first, once you get these mutated plants, I would recommend getting plants that are consistently sharing the same mutation to increase the chances of the actual valuable ones you get. For example, if you're doing prismatic plants and you're using, the bone blossom and you're grinding that same bone blossom, with raccoons, then you're probably going to be better off if, you only do those bone blossoms or try to have only similar mutations, because then once again, if you have shocked and all these other ones, every mutation, like the one I'm grinding on my main account in the main server, has every mutation on it. So I'll, probably luck out with getting a lot of the major mutations. But one of the main things to note is I think the commonality, or how common the mutation is between all the ones you contribute. So if I have, like this one, I had friend bound on every single plant I contributed, you have a better chance to get the friend bound mutation, if that makes sense. So stay with me. But if say you have shocked and all that, the better value and chance you have to get the shocked mutation on it. So therefore, if you contribute, plants with the same of every single mutation and every single mutation, then there's a good chance, you'll get mostly every single mutation on that item. But additionally, you can also increase the size and value of it. Now, one thing to note is I do not think mutated plants actually are of value to the crispy kitchen, bacon, whatever you want to call him, pig right here, because what you're trying to aim for is the high mutations to trade into Remy right here. So he cares about the mutations in size. Meanwhile, he cares about the rarity in size, if that makes sense. So once again, you want to try to target big, heavily mutated ones. The rarity doesn't really matter, which I do like. So pretty much anyone can do that, which is a lot nicer than previously, where if you wanted to get good rewards, you had to get prismatic, and that's really only doable with bone blossoms. But for the most part, that's pretty much all of the main mechanic around it. Once again, make sure you do check out my website. In the description, we have every single working recipe as of right now. So do make sure you check that out. But anyways, if this video helped you out, make sure to leave a like, and I will see you on the next one.